Assalamu alaikum and shalom. Again, Assalamu alaikum and shalom. Do you know that the concept of peace is embodied in these two Semitic languages, that is Arabic and Hebrew? Salam and shalom signify peace. Please, if you have candles, I don't know if they have candles. If you don't, it's no problem. Just rise up if you can and look to the sign behind us. Please, stand up, all of us. And I want you to repeat after me. 2 times peace, and the last one, peace for all. 1, 2, 3. Peace. I didn't hear that. Peace.
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 Peace for all.
Peace for all.
Thank you so much. My name is Jabbar Al-Ubaidi. I'm professor of communication studies here at Bridgewater. But really, most importantly, I'm a proud member of the larger family of Bridgewater State University. Guided by the communique issued by the Office of the President and the President Fred Clark, thank you so much for sponsoring this, and also the Office of the Provost and Executive President Provost Ismaili. Thank you, Provost Ismaili, for that. We are gathering here under the notable banner, as I said, that you see in front of you or behind you if you are sitting on the steps. Peace, no more hurting people. Peace, no more hurting people. We've been saying this for a long time, and I hope we'll not give up on that. And to express our sincere desire to promote peace, quote, as well as our deepest sympathies to the thousands of innocent victims and their families. Students, colleagues, librarians, friends, and guests from the larger Bridgewater, and our guests. We are holding this space and the Vigil for Peace for you all, for us, in the broader Bridgewater community, along with the gracious 4 leaders of various interfaith. They came from Sharon, Renam, Taunton, and Bridgewater. And we come with different cultures and background. Once again, to stand, quote, as an inclusive and caring community, to recognize that what divides us is not as powerful or strong as what binds us together. I will repeat that, and please think about it. That what divides us is not powerful as what binds us together. In standing together, we find comfort, healing, and hope. Comfort, healing, and hope. I encourage all of us that even in the midst of deep pain and troubles, let's never give our back on the prospects for peace, empathy, and humanity. I'm like you. I hope and pray to stop the war and the violence in Gaza and Israel, and to bring peace and prosperity for Palestinians and the Israelis. We should always remember that, whether it is a religious ceremony or prayers in a temple, synagogue, church, mosque, or other places dedicated for worshiping around the globe, we will hear always words of hope, peace, and joy. Example, in the Torah, they said, may the Lord bestow favor on you and grant you peace. In the Bible, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. For Muslim, for the Quran, say, God loves those who are fair. The believers are but a single brotherhood, so make peace between brothers and sisters. From Buddha, about peace, those who are free of resentful thoughts surely find peace. I believe we can find more peace and hope by hearing from our President, President Fred Clark of Bridgewater State University. Please come to the podium.
Thank you very much, Jabbar. Thank you all for gathering today under this beautiful sun, literally under a banner of peace. I want to thank the organizers of this event, in particular Provost Ismaili, Dr. Jabbar El-Obeidi, Vice President Paul Jean, Kelly Salisbury, Dr. Wing Kai To, and so many others for bringing us together. It's short notice, but it's important to come together, and we'll continue to come together as we go forward. I want to offer a special thanks to our interfaith leaders who are with us today. Thank you very much for being with us, taking time out of your schedules. And also thank you to our student leaders and students that are here with us as well. Bridgewater State University's values are explicit. We reject all forms of bias, discrimination, xenophobia, and violence. We are not afraid to unveil hate wherever it may exist and to disrupt it. We commit ourselves to reason, to understanding, and to compassion. As Americans, also, we live the self-evident truth that all people, everywhere, are created equal and have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as a caring community, as a university family, we have to support and love each other without exception. And that's what we do. Finally, BSU stands for peace. That, my friends, is who we are. And that's what brings us together today, a desire for peace. So thank you all for coming. It's my pleasure to introduce our Vice President for Student Success, Equity, and Diversity, Dr. Sabrina Gentlewarrior. Sabrina?
Friends, it's an honor and comfort to be with you all today as we grieve and mourn the losses and tragedies. I'm going to ask you to take a moment and just look around the group gathered here. It's all right. It's all right to look. Let's look at each other. And now I want you to think of your loved ones from Bridgewater State University and beyond who aren't here. Think about them. Now think about all those that are suffering across the world. And in whatever way is right for you, in whatever is your way, I want you to send the people here and the people who are not here some love and some peace. Just take a minute. Now I want you to go back with me about 55 years and think of me as being a 5-year-old, sitting in a pew in Upper Wisconsin and hearing the Sermon on the Mount. And this is some writing in the Bible, and I remember at 5 there was one part of the Sermon on the Mount that was, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will see God." And that struck with me over the years. And so when I read Alice Walker's book, The Temple of My Familiar, she has an adaptation of the Sermon on the Mount, which I love, and I'm going to share a few excerpts from this today. So I quote the extraordinary Alice Walker as we think about how to move forward at this time. "Blessed are those who love the stranger. In this they reflect the heart of the Creator and that of the Mother. Blessed are those who love the entire cosmos rather than just their own tiny country, city, or farm, for to them they will be shown the unbroken web of life and the meaning of infinity. Blessed are those who love all the colors of all human beings. Blessed are those who love the lesbian, the gay, the straight, and the gender non-binary individuals. just as they love the sun, the moon, and the stars. Blessed are those who find the courage to do at least one small thing every day to help the existence of another, be it plant, animal, river, or other human being. Blessed are those who love and actively support the diversity of life. They shall be secure in their differentness. Blessed are those whose every act is a prayer for peace. On them depends the future of the world. May we be blessed.
Now it's my privilege and honor to introduce to you Reverend Dave Sham, the co-pastor of Bridgewater United Methodist Bridgewater. Please.
As I stand before you today, I honestly come not knowing what to say, not knowing, there are no answers, but more questions, more kind of concerns, wondering what I'm doing. Just a local pastor here, a Korean Canadian in the United States, not knowing what caused and what we can continue to do to try to seek more peace. And the more and more I ask, the more questions I come with and less answers. But in reflecting on my drive here, reflecting throughout this past week, this past month, just recognizing that there is a need for peace, but not knowing what to say, I'm grateful for the gift of the Psalms. The gift of the Psalms, which are words that were prayed, which were sung for generations and generations, not trying to sugarcoat the message of the gospel, not trying to give us all the answers, but even in the Psalms, we hear the frustrations of people who are wondering, how long, O Lord? And so I want to read with you and share with you Psalm 13. Psalm 13 was one of the songs written by King David. And what's beautiful about this psalm is that we are giving no context as to why he's saying these words. No particular reasons for why he's saying these things, but what we know is he's suffering. What we know is that he's in pain and that he doesn't yet know how things are going to be resolved. But hear his words today. He cries out saying, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest my enemies say, I have prevailed over him. Lest my foes rejoice, because I am shaken. But I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me." I invite you today to remember that a lot of times we don't have all the answers. We have the longing for peace in our hearts, but we don't yet know how or when that will come. But yet we're invited to still wrestle, to strive, and to continue to pray with words like this. How long? We don't need all the answers today. But we know and we're confident that God is here with us, among us, in this beautiful expression of unity that we have today is just a glimpse of the great peace and love that our God has. And so would we continue to pray and strive and never give up as we cry out, "How long, O Lord?" as we sing the name of our God.
Indeed, we'll continue our prayers and also positive thoughts and send it out there. Please think about it tonight. Send it to everybody in Gaza and Israel and elsewhere, because the world is going unreasonably crazy. It is my pleasure to bring to you Head Monk and Venerable Mankul Kadut, Wantaham Buddhist Temple, Rainham.
Already?
This is okay. It's all right.
Respect the president of BSU and respect to all leadership for every region, and then respect to the honor have together here. May introduce myself. I am Mongkon Gerkun, and the first president from Wat Navamintara Rachutit or NMR Meditation Center. Now, I would like to say thank you very much for inviting us to join to have to give peace, no more hurting people, or give a peace to change the world. I would like to tell everybody to make peace is a duty for everybody or every human being. Suppose someone get hurting, now you give loving kindness to all people. In the Buddhism, the Buddha taught the Buddhism is religion of peace. Buddhism is religion of friendship. Would you like to know more? I would like to invite พระมหาบุญยอด Thana Kawesko, or you can call him Benny, to give in occlusion for all of the Buddha. Finally, to make peace in the world, everybody must to follow the practice the Dhamma. Dhamma is nature itself. Dhamma is the law of nature. Dhamma is the duty must perform that's according the law of nature. Dhamma is the fruit or the benefit accordance duty. Okay, you give mindfulness for change the world to the happiness. I wish you happiness, health, long life, success, and prosperity. Thank you very much for attending.
On behalf of Sangha from NMR Meditation Center, Buddhist Temple in Rainham, and all Buddhists all around the world, whether or not Buddhism would be able to lead the world together, brotherhood, peace, happiness, and enlightenment, and whether it would be able to prevent world war and be suitable as a religion for all people of the world. This I live to be dependent upon your own consideration as a loving kindness. In conclusion, I beg to give my blessing. May you all obtain happiness, peace, success, and enlightenment from practicing mindfulness. And talking about suffering, so in Buddhism, so we have the teaching about the Four Noble Truths, to understand the suffering. So they are the first one, the suffering. That means we are suffering, from mind and body. And the second one is the cause of suffering. So the cause of suffering is a cling or attachment or expectation. And if we talk about definition of the cause of suffering is mental defilements, greedy, hatred, and delusion. Then the cessation of the suffering, the third one. So it's about when you understand the suffering, or when you practice mindfulness, you gain more acceptance, and by the acceptance, so it's gonna release your suffering because you understand. Okay, so then the last one is the cessation leading to the suffering. It means the Eightfold Path, or morality, concentration, and insight knowledge. So all of this, if you practice or if you study, from reading, listening, it's gonna help you more to understand each other. And may all the world will be peace, calm, always. Thank you.
Thank you so much for these wise words. Appreciate that, both of you. Thank you. At this point, I would like to invite Rabbi Cantor Coleman Rabbi of Odotha Chem in Totten. My friend, Rabbi, please.
There are some universal truths in this world that all religions share. I think the universal truth of the pursuit of peace is certainly one of them. My name is Rabbi Coleman Reboy, and it is my honor to be with you here today. Thank you so much for coming, this important event. Thank you for everyone who is participating and who made this today. I'd like to say some words from Jewish teaching about peace. Let's start from the beginning. In Genesis, we believe that we are all created in God's image. The 12th century philosopher Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, known as Maimonides, posed a question. Why is it that God created man and woman to procreate and fill the world with people? Wouldn't it have been easier for God just to create a world already populated with people? And the answer that Maimonides poses is that so no one should say that their parents were better than yours. There's a Jewish belief that the world was created, when the world was created, and it comes from the Kabbalah, the book of Jewish mysticism. And it was believed that the universe was, in order for God to create the universe, God actually had to make room to create the universe. So God had to contract the God self, and in that process, there was a big blast that sent myriads of pieces of holy sparks and scattered them throughout the universe. It is our obligation to find those holy sparks of light and bring them together. I'll give you a little Hebrew lesson. Many of you may know the word shalom. Shalom, of course, means hello, goodbye, and of course, peace. But shalom really comes from a root verb lishalem, which means to make whole. If we think of it that way, that we live in a broken world and that all of the people who are suffering are those pieces that are missing from that wholeness that we pursue. So it is our obligation to find those sparks of light, to be a light ourselves in order to bring wholeness, to bring shalom, to create shalom. And another thing that we can think about in Jewish philosophy is that peace can never be fully achieved by ourselves, that it is necessary for us to pray for peace, that God brings peace, that God grants us peace. And granting us peace is a very special thing to think about. We Jews are bound to the commandments of the Torah, to Rabbinic Judaism, and those commandments are reflective. If we come across something, then it is our obligation to make it so. But peace is to be pursued. As in Psalm 34, as our Reverend had mentioned, that it says that we must seek peace and pursue it. It is not something that is granted easily to us, and that to turn from evil and do good is our duty. That we are not only a world and a people who have faith on the inside, but we must also act. We must also act. And that we must pray as if everything depends on God, but we must act as if everything depends on us. I leave you now with a prayer for peace by Rabbi Hillel Lavery Israeli. May we merit to bring about the day when war and bloodshed cease, and a great peace embraces the whole universe. No nation will lift up sword to one another, and the art of war will no longer be studied. May we live to see the leaders of all nations inspired to do good with their peoples and with all other peoples of the world, bringing about the fulfillment of the scriptural blessing, I will bring peace to the earth, and you will lie down and no one will terrify you. I will bring calm to all the vicious creatures on earth, and the sword will no longer pass in your land. Let knowledge fill the earth as waters fill the ocean, and let all people of all ethnicities, races, beliefs, genders, and orientations enjoy true equality, security, safety, and livelihood in a true spirit of coexistence and cooperation. May the Maker of peace send peace to all those who are in need of peace. May the world be whole again through our actions and through our prayers. And let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. I think Rabbi really gave us a task that we need to, he said we must seek peace and pursue it. So we should translate this in our classes, when we sit with our families, when we sit with our friends, because that's the action. At least this is the least we can do. Also, I think another task, thank you so much, which is to find the holy spark of light. And that's also important to bring that to our classes, to our communities. When we have a discussion in our families, it's really important. I think we should seize this moment. When we learn lessons, we should translate this lesson into actions, small actions, but still actions. Thank you so much, Rabbi, for that. At this moment, I would like to introduce to you Imam and Sheikh Abdul Rahman Ahmed from the Islamic Center of New England, Sharon. Sheikh Abdul Rahman.
Thank you, Professor Abdul Jabbar, and all the faculty members at Bridgewater University, and all of you who came out. I see 2/3 of you are standing. We're standing for peace, and I will definitely echo what our rabbi, my friend and a distant cousin, said, that God is peace, and we have the same word for that, shalom, salam. We utter that maybe 20 plus times every day as Muslims as we pray, and we conclude our prayer with as-salam twice. We invoke the name of salam, peace, because God is the giver and the maker of peace. He's the one who created Adam and Eve, and when he created our origin from where all of us, we sprout out and we now here together, we are all, I said to the rabbi, but all of us, we are distant cousins because our parents are the same. But when he created the first human being, in our tradition is mentioned that God was asked from the angels who are made of light, and they do no evil, said to God, why are you creating another creation that is going to just do mischief in the land? And here we are praising you, worshiping you. Why would you do that? And God said, I know what you don't know. So God made this new creation, this human being. And before that, he said to the angels, I am going to send my steward, the taker, the caregiver of this land, of this earth that we are living on temporarily, and we are the caretakers, and that's why we call this place Mother Nature. We call this place where we live, that brings flowers and trees, and we live on this earth, and that brings life to us and to other things. We are here, a representative of God, to make sure that we keep everything in check and balance, that we make sure that nothing goes wrong. We are responsible. Every one of us is responsible. It's not someone else is going to come and help. It's every one of us, every single individual. In the Quran, in many places, God talks about peace. And after the prayer, we say, Allahumma anta salam. Oh Lord, you are the source of peace. You are peace. Wa minka salam, and from you peace comes. Tabarakta wa ta'alayta ya dhal jalali wal ikram. And these are the words how we exit the prayer. But as I mentioned in the beginning, that we are responsible. Everyone has their opinion, their view, the world view, and everyone has that freedom to make their choices. And we must always stick to peace. But before peace, there has to be justice. And before justice, there has to be right, haqq, as we say in Arabic, the truth. And I think what we are seeing here today, coming together, this is reality. This is the truth. That we can coexist. And we have. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. One of the newer traditions on the block, a Muslim, a Jewish much older, a Christian a little older, are friends of different backgrounds, different religions, much, much older. We have lived all this time, and that's the truth, that's the reality. We have our own opinions, and we can express our own opinions, but it has to be based on truth, and it has to come about justice, and then in the end we get peace. And without these three, then it goes back to the same claim that the angels were saying, that people are going to shed blood in the world. And God says about the protection and preservation of every single human being. Every single human being on the face of this earth, regardless of their race, their religion, ethnicity, nationality, they have all the right for happiness, pursuit of happiness, freedom, and all the other things that we enjoy in this country that guarantees every citizen. And we should be thankful. We should be thankful. All of us at this moment, we should be thankful. Waking up in the morning, having your home, having a warm meal, having family, having university, your colleges, your school, your family around you. Be thankful to that. And when we are grateful and thankful, God gives us more. God gives us more. And I think we have to be the light of hope, the light of peace, the light of truth. We could have our differences on certain political points, political issues, but we can go and grab a coffee, perhaps grab a coffee for my opponent, and sit down together and talk. Put our humanity at the table. Leave out our differences behind and have a civil, human value with peace and justice and truth, and listen to one another. Maybe I'm not going to agree with everything that the person says to me, or maybe the other person who hears me. You don't even have to agree with what I have to say today. that's okay. That's what makes us different. That maybe we don't agree on everything, but we can agree on something, that we can talk to one another. We can talk for peace. We can hope for peace. And in the end, we are people of hope. We never give up hope. In Islamic tradition, giving up hope is one of the greatest sins. Giving up hope is one of the greatest sins. No matter how dark, how difficult, how high the stakes are, we have to keep hoping that these three things will come about. May God bless all of us. May God bless us with His mercy and shower us with His immense love and care and mercy to all of us, to our families, to abroad, to the whole entire humanity. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Sheikh Abdul Rahman, for these wise words. And really thank you for our leaders, because you made us think about ourselves in a way that we probably wouldn't have time to think about ourselves. And I think peace starts within self. Imagine, if I'm not at peace with myself, I cannot condone the peace around me. So we need to think that this is our duty as well, responsibility to learn that. It is a skill, it is a mental attitude, and we need to do that. At this time, I would like to bring Ahmed Sumaika, is the president of MSU, MSA, Muslim Student Association, and Ahmed will tell you a story. For our dear students, we have 70 clubs. If you think that we got only the Muslim Student Association really for reason and only one reason, because you're going to tell you a story what he's going to say. So, but we'll do justice by all our students in terms of the clubs to give them a space also to express their voices. Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. For those who do not understand Arabic, that means peace be upon you. Peace be upon you all. That is the reason we're all here today. We're all here today for peace. My name is Ahmed Sumakia, and I am the president of the Muslim Student Association here on campus today. And I'm here today to simply tell you a story of Bridgewater State University alum who was here with us on campus less than a year ago. A published author and a kind-hearted person, she attended BSU for a short while before returning to her home in Gaza. This student made a meaningful impact on everyone who had the opportunity to meet with her. I will not be sharing her identity out of respect for her privacy and her security. This student reached out to us at the MSA on October 11th, 2023, to share with us her account of what is currently happening over there. We have lost all communications with her since and have not heard from her since. I will be partially rephrasing some of her statements for clarity's sake. She said, "Hello everyone, I was trying to send you a very short video of my situation now while sitting in my room. The video did not upload due to very bad internet connection, and after a few hours, I will not have access to any internet connection. We have not slept for 5 days due to the airstrikes on civilian homes, which tend to increase at night. My city has been cut off from water, food, electricity, and soon internet access. There are a lot of civilians whose homes were destroyed above their heads without getting any prior warning. Some people saw their whole neighborhoods wiped out and fled to other people's houses. My nieces and nephews are traumatized and unable to sit down by themselves unless one of their parents is around. Every time they hear the airstrikes, they cower and cry in fear. I myself want to cry, but I pretend to be strong to show the children that we are okay so far. People in my city hate nights because we know if we sleep, we may never wake up again. Gaza is turning into a very dark place, both metaphorically and literally, due to the tremendous loss of life and lack of electricity. Hospitals are running out of fuel and medical supplies. Even non-critical patients have slim survival odds. Ambulances and other relief efforts that respond to the bombardments are getting targeted by secondary attacks. While sitting in my room having no place else to go, I do not think we can make it until tomorrow. By the way, my house hosts 3 other civilian families who have fled from their homes. For the coming hours, I will not have internet access or a phone battery. I think this is the best time to tell you about this before my battery dies. Please tell the world we are humans with dignity who are looking forward to their freedom. Salam, and thank you all for your support. She chooses to close off her statement with the word salam, which once again means peace. I will conclude by saying that our thoughts and prayers go out to this student, her family, and anyone else who may have been affected by the conflicts these past couple of weeks. Salam.
Thank you so much, Ahmed, for this, and hopefully we'll hear from our students very soon. At this point, I would like to invite Dr. Maggie Lowe, Professor of History and a chaplain, my friend, Dr. Maggie.
Good afternoon. I want to thank all of you for coming. And as I was preparing to come here today, what kept coming back to me is just how very grateful I am to be on a campus where we were able to found a department, a minor in global religious studies in the past few years. We were able to walk on this campus in peace today on a beautiful, lovely courtyard and walk whatever path we want, a path of faith, a path of no faith, a path that we get to discover what brings us meaning and purpose in our lives, and that we're supported to do that by so many others who have, I know in your lives and like in mine, have laid the groundwork for us to be here. And we're supported by a vision that says that this university has a mission to promote social justice, and that means that we each are also charged to do our part. And hearing all these beautiful calls for peace today, and then that last story, it's just heartbreaking how much we desperately need that peace and need all of us to be able to keep walking these paths in this way so that we can bring peace in our own lives to those around us and to the larger world. And I know this university is preparing all of us to do that. And so I'm tremendously grateful that we are in a place where we can do that today. And what I thought struck me from the many things that I have been reading and thinking over the past couple of weeks and have come through my email is a wonderful statement from the International Plum Village community of Thich Nhat Hanh's lineage, who wrote this beautiful statement that I think summarizes best what I would wish for us. We know that both Palestinians and Israelis are our siblings, our brothers, sisters, children, our family. Once anger, fear, and suspicion take over, it seems like there is nothing to do besides kill or be killed. But violence can only lead to more violence. We must go deeply within ourselves to see that human beings, any human being, is not our enemy. With compassion, love, and wisdom in our hearts, we can make ourselves available to listen deeply to the cries of those among us. The cries of those looking to keep their love strong in the midst of this horror. We need to lend them our strength. We all need to go beyond the destructive idea that we are separate from each other. Let us create islands of nonviolence and peace in our hearts, in our homes and beyond. Let us live every moment seeing those we think of as the enemy as not separate from ourselves, as our own blood, skin, and bones, and let us not allow hatred to take over. Let us take care of our feelings with calm and clarity, holding our sadness, fear, anger, and despair, and resist the temptation to blame, to punish, or to have to choose a side. Revenge and punishment cannot be the answer. Generate compassion in our hearts, radiate it out in every direction. Love, compassion, and courage need to have a place in politics. And they signed it with love for all beings suffering, the Plum Village International Monastic Community. Thank you.
Thank you again. Appreciate you. At this point, I would like to invite the Assistant Provost for Global Engagement, Dr. Mankaitu.
students, staff, faculty, administrators, and community members. Thank you everyone for coming together today to show your concern, support, care, and love to each other, to the situation that we are in a world that is continuing with conflict and with war and with violence. I know that it hurts us a lot when we have loved ones who are members of the Bridgewater community who are directly affected by the tragedies over the last few weeks, especially for people who know the Israelis and Palestinians who are suffering with this conflict. We are really hopeful that we all live together with 3 fervent hopes. The first hope is that we'll have humanitarian aid to everyone who suffered, so no one can actually be denied the basic needs to survive. We also hope that the people who were caught can be released soon, so no more people will be hurt by that. We also hope that there will be a solution to the current conflict. So we all wish that we could support each other. If you have friends and families or colleagues who are hurting, please check on them and continue to show your support, love, and care with each other, and make sure that they are okay. I know that for a lot of people, it's a really tough time right now. So please feel your compassion and your sympathy and your support to each other to come out of this situation with a little bit more hope for the days and weeks ahead. So as a university, the Minning Institute for Global Engagement's mission is to bring every culture, background, and people together by getting our students and our community to have more exposure to the world. Our goal is to promote international cooperation, including peaceful coexistence of all cultures and beliefs, both on our campus, in the community, in the country, and in the world. There have been too many divisions right now all over the world and in our country. One of our goals as a student here, as a community member here, is to try to live by the mission that President Clark talked about being an inclusive, supportive community to each other. The university will continue to provide opportunities for everyone to talk to each other. I also want to find out our international student last year, whether she will be okay. I also mourn for the death of some of the friends, relatives, and families, who are in different parts of the Middle East. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bankaito. Before closing, I would like to again thank Kelly, Karen from the President's office, Karen from the Provost's office, and also the IT department, the police department, the cable TV, Jeff and John, and again our incredible speakers. And also this is really led by President Fred Clark and the Executive Vice President and Provost Ismaili. And thank you also to Vice President Paul Jean for helping us with this. It's a very important task, a task that when we think about it in terms of the time, we think about, you think about the 3 words really. That's hope, that's peace, that's love. I mean, we talk about these things, so think about it and praise them. So thank you for spending the past hour with us this afternoon. Please stay tuned as we will come back with more spaces for our campus, students, librarians, faculty, staff, and also the larger community to have more reflections and discussions in a safe zone when people they can talk to one another responsibly and respectfully and in professional level. We recognize the fact that it is difficult to wrap our minds around the cruelty, horror, human suffering, and loss of lives around the globe, especially for Israelis and the Palestinian people at this time. May peace and hope prevail, and we shall collectively and collaboratively work together to translate the sign behind me, peace, no more hurting people, into action and reality. Thank you so much and have a peaceful day.